Mr. Park, the person who came today, as you know, is currently in Indonesia. The power of words can have a much greater effect than the power of knowledge. Your life is determined by the direction your tongue is pointing. When I created Atomy, I had nothing but this one mouth. But what I spoke from this mouth were the thoughts I had in my mind. And that is how a global company was created. For the sake of the people we love, let's become successful. Within the Atomy system, it's not about 99% success, but 100% success. With a warm heart that says, I will definitely succeed for my beloved family and partners, and I will also help those partners succeed. And with a heart that loves your neighbors, all of you can become successful in Atomy, becoming an imperial. Now, when you meet your partners, please greet them like this. To your partners, say, make imperial. To your sponsor, say, make imperial. Michael Imperial. Michael Imperial. Michael Imperial. Michael Imperial. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. Having just returned from a tour in the United States, Colombia, Brazil, India, Malaysia, and Indonesia, I am Park Hangil, an international lecturer. In fact, the COVID-19 situation was a tremendous shock to our business. We were supposed to gather for seminars, but since we couldn't meet, we were very confused about what to do in that situation. At that time, we decided to proceed more aggressively. So I even climbed the Himalayas, shouting Pung Shin Yon Tong, the kite flies higher, the stronger the wind blows. So, no matter what adversity we create or encounter, this adversity should lift us higher. We need to turn it into something that elevates us. While shouting this during the COVID-19 period, we expanded into 6 more countries, achieving the goal of entering 3 new countries each year and achieving growth. However, after COVID-19 ended, the aftermath of the pandemic started to affect us. So before COVID-19, we used to gather for seminars, but during the pandemic, we switched to online Zoom meetings. Once COVID-19 ended, we should have started gathering and moving around again, but it seems everyone got used to sitting down, and there were indeed instances where people were reluctant to move. However, after COVID-19 ended, we experienced a slight stagnation in our rapid growth for about 2 years, but thank you. Last year and this year, it seems we have had the opportunity to rebound. So, during the 2 years after COVID-19 ended, I visited all our overseas branches and subsidiaries. In those 2 years, I think I toured about 30 countries. So this year, I also visited 16 countries. Anyway, in every country I visited, I confirmed that they are preparing for a significant leap with great enthusiasm, and in some places, the leap has already begun. It is said that the global economy is not easy right now. It is true that we are experiencing various difficulties. However, despite those difficulties, we have actually been sailing smoothly. And now, finally, we have seized a second opportunity to take off and ascend. I can say that the past 2 years have been a process of confirming that. So you all need to prepare to leap again. I call this magazine the Atomy magazine. Now it comes out seasonally. And when I receive it, the feeling I get is, what's wrong with people who can't succeed even with all this provided? That's really how I felt. Even if I leave everything about Atomy, even without this auditorium, without the headquarters building, if I only have this magazine, I feel like I could become an imperial right away. Why? When I first started with Atomy, even in a situation where there wasn't a single proper office, If I think about the process that has led Atomy to develop into a global company, just by looking at the content, there's a message from the publisher, the founder. I write it myself. This is to say that you all have the conditions necessary to succeed. Next, right here is Songnisan Forest, which was owned by Geryon Construction. When we were young, we would go to Songnisan for school trips. Thank you. We all used to sleep at Youth Town. We have been using it since the early days. But I repeatedly mentioned that it would be nice if they could do some repairs. The facilities were too outdated and inconvenient, but they didn't fix it. So we kept using it despite the inconvenience, and when we asked them to sell it to us, they wouldn't sell it. But during COVID, after being tied up for about 3 years, they asked if we could just buy it. So we bought it and repaired it for twice the purchase price. In fact, we left almost only the framework and did everything like this. We tore it down and rebuilt it to a level that is truly like a hotel. At least a 4-star hotel standard for the kids. So now you can have team workshops there. Also, our Success Academy runs for 2 days and 1 night, but there were inconveniences due to the lack of accommodations. So, I think it can indeed definitely be well used as a training place where absolutely 500 to 600 people can enter and hold the Success Academy every week. Truly training and nurturing leaders. Here. Looking at these contents, I felt that you could very easily and incredibly convey the comprehensive and detailed Atomy business with just this one magazine in a very effective manner. So, indeed, the stories of these successful people featured here. When we first started, we had no successful people, so we shouted that we would succeed. But now, haven't these successful people emerged? You can do it too. Even when saying this, you gain strength from these facts. Accumulating them. This can be considered an intangible asset. And look ahead. In the AI era, 70% of jobs will disappear and 30% of jobs will be newly created, which means 40% of jobs will be lost and the unemployment rate will up to 3%. Or 5% unemployment is generally accepted, but when it reaches 10%, the country starts to shake. A 40% unemployment rate would turn the country upside down with people saying they can't live. And if 40% are unemployed, taxes won't be collected, leading to a financial crisis for the country. Thank you. So, what should those people do? Should they go to the factory to work? Should they farm? Should they manage things in an office? You see, farms. In the future, all of them will be automated with agricultural machinery, with drones spreading seeds and applying pesticides, doing all these tasks. So even on farms, although we have smart farms, it will become a world where such human labor is unnecessary, even in the primary industry. It seems like welding in shipyards would be very complicated, right? But now, robots are being used to handle all these complex tasks, like welding. In offices, even more so, people are not needed. I worked as a salaried employee for 27 years. At the end of the year, in December, we would put all the company ledgers into boxes, load them into a car, and go to a hotel room to do the accounting for a month. But now, there are no companies that do that anywhere. It's just a daily accounting system. So even for very complex accounting and administrative systems, our 4 employees manage the accounting and administration of a company with an annual revenue of 2 trillion won. It's not just 4 female employees. But why is that possible? It's possible because the SAP accounting software connects the entire world. That's why we don't hire people now. And for tasks that involve creativity or other activities, people think that humans are needed, but now AI is said to do those things much better. That's why universities are having a hard time now. When students were asked to submit reports, they all used AI to do it. So now, what are they creating? They're creating AI programs to verify whether AI wrote the reports. or not. That's what professors are dealing with now. So, in the future, if 40% of jobs disappear, where will those people go? In the past, I opened a restaurant because they said I would live off of the food, but there were too many and I was going bankrupt. Let's open a cafe. I wouldn't have to wash the dishes, so I opened a cafe without any hesitation. But that didn't work. Then what are you going to do? I can't find a job and I'm trying to start my own business, but even self-employment is failing now. What are we going to do? We need to make a living. So is it only you who feel stuck, or is everyone going to feel even more stuck in the future? It's going to get more difficult. That's why people are inevitably drawn to network marketing businesses like Atomy. Yesterday, while receiving a report on how we will handle our global sales, by 2030, we will be number one among network marketing companies worldwide. We are currently planning to exceed 10 trillion won. I received reports on this all day yesterday.
That's not where we end. From 10 trillion, we believe we will progress to 100 trillion at a very rapid pace. At that point, at least 1/3 of the people here will become imperial.
Everyone, including those in the back, will join the royal club. Think about it. If you become an imperial, earning 100 million won a month, wouldn't you go crazy with excitement? Our imperial Kim Hyun-suk. This time she went to New Zealand with her 7 sons and grandsons, and just the airfare in business class was 50 million won. The total travel expenses are 100 million won, and they just go and come back like that. So one of our staff asked, isn't it a waste to spend 100 million won on travel expenses? But it's equivalent to her annual salary. And it's going to come in again next month. Really, imagine a life where you can spend 100 million won on travel expenses with your family without any burden. That's what I'm asking you to dream about. So, becoming an imperial means that if you can truly achieve that, it would be something incredible. How would you feel if you could say, I'm going on a trip with my family this month and I'll cover the 100 million won expenses? Living a life where you can say such things is what it means to be imperial. So it's all or nothing. In this AI era, you either fail miserably or achieve tremendous success by entering an IT system that surpasses the AI system. It's one or the other. There is no middle ground. So you need to think this way. I'm not hoping to be extremely wealthy. I just want to live comfortably. Don't think like that. That doesn't exist. So, it's one of the two. Either you earn a lot and pay taxes of 300 to 400 million won a year like our Yoon Young-sung Imperial. To pay 300 to 400 million won in taxes, you need to earn over 1 billion won. Or pay 400 million won in taxes. Or live on the 600,000 to 700,000 won provided by the government. It's one of the two. Do you want to live on what you receive? Or do you want to live by paying? You should live by paying. From that perspective, you all need to engage in platform business. You know you need to do platform business, engage in the IT industry, and move towards the 4th industrial revolution. You can create such platforms and operate them if you can. But Atomy has already invested about 20 to 30 billion won just in the computer system. On top of that, you need to have a logistics system that can track where your deliveries are at any given moment. Then, if you want to hold inventory, it costs money, and this involves billions of won. Currently, we have invested about 900 billion won, including these buildings and inventory assets. Atomy's assets amount to about 900 billion won. Then, you have to invest at that level for such a business to be possible. It's a 900 billion won business, but instead of creating such IT programs, building product warehouses, or developing logistics systems, you can become the owner of the Atomy Personal Platform APP. You can start this platform business by inviting people to visit your homepage and purchase products. You can also offer this platform to others for free, and by doing so, you can engage in this cutting-edge platform business. There is no other way. Look for it.
Ask other people. Those who say they won't do this. What are you going to do to make a living? Can you get a job? Can you get a job? They say no. It's hard to get a job when you're over 50. Even if you get a job, if it doesn't solve economic problems, it can't really be considered employment. I'm 50, and wherever I go, I earn 300 or 500 a month, spend it all, and just let time pass by. When you reach 70 or 80, is that really earning money? It's just wasting time. That's neither earning money nor working. What is about real work? You all need to earn money, but what you have left after earning is what truly counts as earning money. When and how much should be left? When I reach 70, 80, 90, or 100 years old and can't earn money, even if I'm lying in bed, I need to have enough for my medical expenses, food, and to maintain my dignity. That's what it means to have truly earned money. But can you secure your retirement with 300, 500, or 700? Can't you? No, that's not possible. No. When people hear about earning 30 million, 50 million, or 100 million, they wonder if you're looking down on money or how you can earn thousands like that. Even those who studied hard and got into large corporations think earning 10 million a month is incredible. So they question how one can earn 30 million, 50 million, or 100 million. They say they won't live such a life. But if you don't earn 30 million, you absolutely can't secure your retirement. Why? If you earn 30 million a month, after spending on various things, you need to spend 10 million, right? Then you have 20 million left per month, which is 200 million a year. How many years would you need to save to buy a house? You need at least 1 billion just to buy a single house, don't you? Then you spend 10 years saving, and you need to buy a house for each of your children, right? That takes another 10 years. If you have 2 children, that's 20 years. Over 30 years, you need to earn 30 million a month just to barely provide a house for them. Haven't you calculated it? Other people who studied better than me became public officials. They earn an annual salary of 100 million won. But if I humbly earn 3 to 4 million won a month, I think I'm doing really well. This kind of thinking is a flawed calculation. In reality, the necessary calculation is that you absolutely need at least 30 million won papa a month. And when you have some free time, share it with those around you, help sick friends, and when your nieces and nephews get married, you are their aunts and uncles. Hey, do you have money for your wedding? Come here. How much have you saved up? You don't. First, I'll give you some money, so go buy what you urgently need, and if it's still not enough, come back. I'll give you about 100 million won. Isn't this the least you should do for your nephew? But then, you worry all night whether it should be 1 million won or 3 million won, and show up with a swollen face. Is it okay to just wear a pretty white handbook to the wedding hall and be called aunt or uncle? You don't have to do that. I'm busy with my Atomy business, so I can't go. Instead, I'll send 100 million won. That's better for the aunt or uncle. So, if we really want to fulfill our roles as decent human beings, you need to earn at least 30 to 40 million won a month. Only then can you maintain your standard of living during the years from 60 to 70, 80, 90 when you can't earn money. If you don't earn at least 30 million, there's no solution. Do the math. So, as you engage in this Atomy business, today you will be writing your life scenario. When you write your life scenario about what kind of life you want to live, you need to include content that makes you feel like you would go crazy if it could really happen. So, you might wonder whether it will happen or not. But the point is, if something comes to mind, it's because there's a possibility for it. A challenge is not something that is 100% possible. We don't even call it a challenge. The challenge is the bigger. The challenge, the lower the possibility. For you, earning 100 million won a month, 90% of the time, it won't happen. Even if there's only a 10% chance, should you take on the challenge or not? You should, just like when you climb Everest and reach the 8,000 meter peaks. Even if you practice and prepare, does that mean you'll reach the top 100% of the time? No, there's a high chance of failure. Some people go and have to come back down, and many reach the top after 5 or 10 attempts. Some even die trying. Nevertheless, it's important for you to set a goal and pursue it. So don't set easy goals like climbing a small hill in slippers and shouting Yahoo at the top. That's not what life is about. I'm saying don't set such goals. So you should really set goals that make you feel like you would go crazy if you could achieve them. That's how your life changes. In the founder's message, I wrote down that everything is not as good as words. Originally, it was written as, everything is not as good as the heart. What does this mean? You know, the concept of fate and fortune, right? Fate and fortune. No matter how good your fate is, it can't compare to your appearance. That's why there's a saying that fate is not as good as appearance. So even if two people are born on the same day, at the same time, one might succeed while the other doesn't. It turns out that the one with a good appearance tends to do well. However, more than having a good appearance, a person with good health and a proper posture is much better. But more important than this physical condition is the state of the mind, which is the most crucial. Hence, everything is not as good as the state of the mind. So depending on the mind, life changes. But then, how do we manage this mind? I thought about what influences the mind, and it turns out it changes according to what I say. In the Bible, there's a saying in the book of James. A large ship is driven by strong winds, but its direction is determined by the rudder at the back, right? It's called a rudder. The rudder determines the direction. So the rudder, it's very small. But in English, it says A. Very small rudder, as you can see. I've circled it there, right? Depending on how the rudder moves, the ship doesn't just go wherever the strong winds blow, but rather it can steer against the wind. So this is saying that the rudder is like the key to the ship, like the ship's rudder. If you say, I will succeed, I can succeed, I will become an imperial earning 100 million a month, then it will happen. How you speak governs your mental world. Because, you see, words are spirit. Even in the Bible, it says, the words I have spoken to you are spirit and life. It means the word is the Holy Spirit. How does it go in the Gospel of John? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. It goes like this. The Word is God. Accepting God means accepting the Word. Accepting the Word is accepting God. So, you are engaging in something spiritual. People can live with physical strength, like using physical power. For example, digging with a shovel. However, by using the power of the mind, intellectual abilities, you can develop an excavator and achieve hundreds of times the efficiency compared to digging with a shovel. But even more outstanding than intellectual abilities are spiritual abilities, the power of thought and the power of language. These are tens of thousands of times more powerful. When I created the company Atomy, what did I use to create it? I made it with just this mouth. Just with this mouth, huh? At that time, I had nothing. I drove around in a 28 million won Chinese carnival. What did I say there? You will live in the most expensive house in Iksan City, and you will become the person who pays the most taxes in this city. And then Park Jung-soo Imperial became the person who paid the most taxes in Iksan. Is that right or not? As an individual income earner. So, it means that your heart is determined by the direction in which your tongue moves. So, it is said that nothing compares to words. Things happen as you say them. That's why what you think, say, and declare actually holds tremendous spiritual power. In the early days, when I really had nothing, I said, if you become an imperial, I will give you 1 billion won with a forklift. And now, I've actually given it out 13 times. We are going global. We will become a superclass company. When I just go out into the world now, I keep asking people not to come to the airport. Look here. When I went to Cambodia, 500 people came and blocked the airport entrance. So I went a few hundred meters away, and they all came there. So I took pictures there. But anyway, we have developed into a superclass company doing this kind of global business for
But when I declared that, I was living in a ridiculous 500,000 one monthly rent room. So, everyone, what you think in your mind, write it down in your life scenario and tell the people around you that you have started an Atomy business that earns 100 million won a month, becoming an imperial. Declare that you will also help them become an imperial, earning 100 million won. This is a very crucial point. But is it enough to just say it? Just saying it is enough. Just saying it is enough. So, when you have no hope, the only hope is to have hope and to speak of hope. There is a saying, nothing is better than having a wish. Even if the possibility of what you say is less than 10%, we need to talk about that 10%. And even if thoughts of impossibility fill 80% to 90% of your mind, you should install a stop button on those thoughts and press it. When you think it won't work, it will be difficult, or you can't do it. Let's all try this together. When negative thoughts arise, press the stop button. Let's try it again. When negative thoughts arise, press the stop button. Those who aren't following along, what's going on? The doctor is speaking. I know there are professors and doctors here. Please look at this kindly. When negative thoughts arise, stop. Stop like this. And always think positively. Just keep going and say positive things. Even when there's less than a 1% chance of that, you have to say it. That's scary, right? When it doesn't work out, you become a fraud, a liar. What are you going to do? Facing that fear is courage. Courage isn't not feeling fear, it's overcoming that fear. When I say things like, I'm living in a 500,000 won monthly rent and I'll lift 1 billion won for you with a forklift, do you think you'd be afraid? Do you think I didn't have thoughts like, what if it doesn't work out? That would be foolish. I'm not that foolish. I'm a doctor. So, I have those thoughts too. And then I go backstage and tremble alone. What if it doesn't work out? When thoughts of failure come, stop! It will work. That's how we get through those times. We will become a $100 billion company. We're at 2 billion now, and we'll grow 50 times. If it doesn't happen, then we're fraud. They said 1/3, here we'll become imperial, but if it doesn't happen, then we're frauds. Looking at your expressions, 99% of you think it won't work. With those eyes, will it work? No, it won't work, but it will. The thought of it not working. So, Mansang Puriyo Wansang means things will happen as you say. Next year, our Hanja Xianghua will be Mansang Puriyo Wansang. But even if we live as successful people in this world, the truth is we soon die. I'm almost 70 now. So, we certainly have to indeed prepare for the end of life. But the best preparation is undoubtedly to gain another life. In the Bible, there's a term called bios. The biological life we have received is a 100-year one. But as this 100-year life train heads towards the cliff of death, no matter how much you have, or how good your seat is, or how much you hold on to inside the train, once it falls off the cliff, it's all the same, right? That's why we need to change trains. God has prepared eternal life called joy. So next Friday, we will have Pastor Jomyong explain it to us all day at the Atomy Park Auditorium. We will be having a full day of explanations from our light-hearted masters at the Atomy Park Auditorium in the headquarters. So I hope to see you all there next Friday. That's all.